All right, so today we're going to go over how we trade our A plus type setups. So these are the best setups that we always look for, the ones that we expect that are going to run at least another 10 to 25% from the time that we alerted. So this was EVK from earlier this week, and the time that we alerted was right here during this huge candle up right here. I believe it was at 495 ish is where we alerted it. So we still want to get a pretty good entry. So ideally, for me, I'm looking at 480. I'm already putting in the orders here. 480 to about 510, 510ish. I'd say would be a good entry from the time that it's alerted. So my risk level here when I'm looking at this setup is going to be right here. So if it fell to about 460, then I'm gonna plan my exit. I'm not gonna exit at 460, but if it came down to 460 and it didn't come right back, I would try to find an exit anywhere from 470, 480 for a very minimal loss, right? So the reason for the video here is for you to understand what I'm looking for and how I'm trading these type setups. So ideally, you're getting in at about 480 to 510ish, and you're looking to capture this move right here. So for me, I'm looking to capture that move. And right here, if you notice this candle right here with this huge parabolic exhaustion type move, once you see that move, for me, I'm looking for an exit because it's the huge candle. A lot of people that were probably upside downs in the trade trying to short this thing are probably planning their exits. So when they're planning their exits, we're planning our exit too in order to get out. So right now, boom, getting out right around $6. It's roughly a 25% move right here. Nice, decent move. Very little time too. It was less than an hour for this move. But even if you missed that first move, you can see that it came back around for you. So it came back around. It gave you a good entry if you wanted to get back in here. If you missed that entry the first time, you could have got back in at 480, 490 ish right here. And then it gave you that move to $6 again. And let's say in the worst case scenario, it goes below where we alerted 495, it would come back around for you to get out. So towards the end of the day, I'm usually out of the trade by then. No one should be trading towards the end of the day unless it was an obvious move up. But even if it failed right here, it came back around for you to get back out. So remember, the risk is very minimal. We're talking about a 20% risk maybe compared to a 20-cent risk, sorry. So a 20-cent risk, you're looking at about 5% risk right here compared to a 25% gain. So I take those odds every single time when I'm looking for these type setups. So let's go ahead and move on to the next name here. All right, so the next one we're going to look at is WHLM. All right, so WHLM, we alerted right here at about 709, 710ish right here. If you can see where my cursor is at, this is where we alerted. And again, this one gave you about half an hour for you to get in this right around this time. Any entry around 695 ish to about 725 would have been a good entry for you here. But what we're trying to capture is this move up right here. This again was another 25% move right here on this name. If you got in too late, then you might be a little bit stressed. But if you got a good entry here around $7, I think if you average $7 on this, you would have been okay. Even if you bought here, you added more right here, you could have averaged around $7, and you ride that wave up. That's the move. Sometimes these setups can go further and they can make another leg up move. But for me, I'm only trying to get my 10, 25% every time, and then I'm out. As you can see, this one eventually came all the way back down, even below where it came from. But this is the move we're looking for. This is the entry that you're looking for, and this is the risk that you would be looking for. If it went back below, and you can see right here, resistance, resistance, resistance. So if it came back here and it failed this area, I'd be looking to get out right here. So this one, I didn't capture the whole move on this myself, but I did get a nice piece of the move for the setup here. So again, very, very similar to the last one. We alerted it right here. It gives you about 15-20 minutes for you to get into the stock. You always still want to find a good entry. You don't want to just, okay, we alerted right here, so then you go ahead and buy in right here. No, you still want to get a pretty good entry from the time that it gets alerted. And just know that all the setups, we're trading these the same exact way. So we're expecting a leg up, and once it makes that leg up move, we're planning our exits somewhere around here. All right, there's one more setup that we want to look at here. So this is ZY. We actually missed this alert because I personally was looking at something else here, but this one did halt in the beginning of the day, and I missed it. I forgot what name I was looking at, but I missed this one. But this is a classic A plus type setup here for us too, and where we would have alerted it would have been right here on this candle. So this candle move up right here, I put a line right here from where it halted, but where we're looking at here would have been this move up, and this would have been where we alerted it right here. So it would have gave you a nice opportunity to get in anywhere around 11:50 to 12 would have been a good entry, right? And it gave you 10-15 minutes for you to grab this entry right here. 10-15 minutes for you to get in anywhere below 12 to 12 would have been a good entry. Actually, anything, if you got anywhere around this move right here would have been a good entry. So let's say you got in at 12. I would have rolled it up to here. Honestly, I didn't get in this trade, but if I were in this trade, I would have got out right here at about 1450s, 1440s. I would have been in, got myself a nice $2 move right here, and been done with the move. It actually went, I think it topped out here at like, let's see up here. Oh, it actually went up after hours too. But for me, the way I trade, I would have been in this right here. This would have been a good entry for me after the alert, and ride it up here for half an hour, exit, right? Because you can see, I mean, if you stay in the trade for too long, even the next day, it comes all the way back down, and then you just turn a winning trade into a losing trade. So again, some of our A plus setups will run 200%, 300%, 100% that day, but for the most part, most of them are going to run another 10% to 25%, and that's it. So you be sure to calculate where you feel like it's going to either 10 to 25% or the next leg up, which is right here. So anywhere, the next leg up would have been right here. If you exited anywhere around here would have been great, and it gave you an hour, 2 hours for you to exit in this area. So anywhere from 1375 to around 14ish, 1450s, you would have been able to get a good decent exit there. So that's normally what we look for, and that's normally the setups that we look for. They all look a little bit different, but they're all similar in the fact that we feel like this has the best percentage chance of making a move up, right? So again, no one's going to be 100% on the alerts and making sure that they're going to move that far up, but the ones that we alert, the ones that we are going to send out, are going to have the best chances. Sometimes you got to just trust it that it's going to run. And again, if it doesn't run, then start planning your exit. But for the most part, we trade all these setups that we send out. We're not the type of people just to send out random alerts. They're going to be the best possible setups. We've already looked at all different factors before we hopped into the trade, before we send them out. We make sure that they're going to be the best setups, and we make sure that it has the best possible chance of making a nice move up, right? Because we're not going to catch this move from nines to 11. We know that, but for this next leg up, we know that because it didn't fail right here, then it has a good chance of moving up, right? Because if this were to fail here, if 1140s were to fail and it fell, then we're no longer looking at it. But the fact that it reclaimed back to 12, and then it started, you can tell if you look a little closer right here, if I remove the lines here, you can tell that there was a buyer here on the tape, right? Someone's buying it up right here at 1160s, 1150s. So right when it made a move up, there's a good chance that if it could fail, but if it were to fail, you'd know right away, right? So because it's getting bought up, you feel good about this making another leg up. And you don't know that when it's right here, but just knowing from right here that it should have failed right here. So this, if it were to fail, it would have went down like this, and then it would have consolidated here, And then during the consolidation, it's going to tell you a lot, because if it were to fail, it will just continue on down. But because it picked itself back up, reclaimed this level, we feel good about it making another leg up. So then picked up, and then take off, right? So that's what we look for. That's what you should be looking for. And that's how we trade all of our A plus setups. So good luck, and see you next week.